Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Uh, this is another knowledge lesson, which is in the Bible, but for some odd reason, the church refused to teach it. But it's very important that you know why we are in the condition that we are in today as a nation. Not one person, half a person, but as a nation. Because you'll have a few so-called Negroes that'll say, that don't fit me. I done made it. But the Lord don't deal in person. He deals in nations. It's 18 nations. And the so-called Negroes, Native Indians, and the Latinos, we make up the other 12. The other 6 are the heathens. Japanese, Korean, Edomites, and so forth. But it is documented in the Bible about slavery. I know people don't believe it, but it's documented in the Bible. And today, I'm going to prove it to you. This right here will let you know the reason why we're in the condition we're in. The prophets in the Bible had already predicted us going into slavery. No other nation went through the stuff that we went through. And you will see once I show you where it's at and we read it and go over it. First, I want to show you where we was taken on slave ships and brought to North America and sold. Then I'm going to go back down and break everything else down. Okay, go to Deuteronomy 28:68. Deuteronomy 28:68. Deuteronomy 28:68. 28:15. No, you're right. 15 through 68, it describes all the curses that are upon us. But Deuteronomy 28:68 describes how we got here. How we got to North America. How we got to North America. It describes how we got to North America. So I'm going to start there first. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the prophets warned us that if we broke the commandments, we would be punished. If we broke the commandments, we would be punished. And that is why we went into slavery. Because our forefathers broke the commandments. And we are still breaking the commandments. That's why today you are still a slave. Now it's more powerful than ever. It's mental. And that mental slavery is worse than the physical. Physical, you can heal and get over that. But that mental, it stick with you forever. And that's why today's generation is in a hell basket as we speak. But Deuteronomy 28:68, as read. Deuteronomy 28:68. It tell you how we went into slavery. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. With ships. Egypt again. You say, well, again? Yeah, we were the children that Moses brought us out of Egypt. We them same people that Moses brought out of Egypt. You done seen the movie. So when Moses brought them people out of Egypt, them was us. But on TV they portrayed them to be white, but they was black. It was us. In the Egyptian, they portrayed them to be white, but they was Africans. They was Africans. When we were the so-called Negroes. So you can do your history, go do your history, and you'll find out that the Egyptians back then, they was Africans. They were dark-skinned people. They was African. And they had us in captivity for over 400 years until Moses came and delivered us. And you say, well, okay, he said, bring us into Egypt again. Well, you got to understand what the word Egypt means. Egypt means, go to Exodus 2:20. 2:20. No. Go to Exodus 20:2. 20:2. Go to Exodus 20 and 2. Exodus 20 and 2. The reason why I'm repeating it because I want you to follow behind me, for you won't think I'm making this up. That's why I'm repeating where it's at. I want you to think I'm making this up. So, this is how it's read. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Egypt means bondage. Egypt means bondage. So remember that. Now go back to Deuteronomy 28:68. 28:68. So we done established that Egypt means bondage. Egypt means bondage, and bondage mean what? Slavery. So I'm going to replace Egypt with bondage. And the Lord shall bring thee into bondage again. That means he shall bring you into slavery again. Okay? Slavery again. So how do we get to North America? They cramped us on ships. Had us stuck in like sardines. And the Bible says the same thing. With ships. The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. He's talking to the children of Israel. So we came over here to North America in ships, like sardines. Throw us overboard. Millions of people lost their lives. Some of them jumped. Some of them got thrown overboard because they were sick. And they didn't want to contaminate the whole ship. They did it so regularly that the shark knew the time in the season that they came through and was waiting for the food when they dumped them over there. They stripped them naked. They had no clothes because they didn't want you to know who you are. They didn't want you to know who you are, so they stripped you of all your clothes. So you came naked. People was using their bathroom on themselves. Just imagine. The women was on their monthly. They was having babies. You couldn't move. Just imagine that. Close your eyes for a second and just imagine how you came over here on ships crammed in with sardines. They had very little holes in the ship because they thought that the slaves were going to jump over or try to get out their little hole. So there was only enough hole to get a little breeze to go through there. It was hot in there. Just imagine that. All that piss, all that shit, all that blood was mingled together in there under them ships. And they did it for a long time, back and forth, bringing so-called niggas. We was Israelites, bringing us here, bringing us back, bringing us here. Well, with ships, by the way I spake unto thee. That's what he told. That was our prophecy. That was part of our punishment because we disobeyed the law. Law, statutes, and commandments. Thou shalt see it no more again. You shall see Jerusalem no more again. You didn't come from Africa. We migrated from Africa running from the Roman Empire in 65 AD. So we migrated to Africa. And then the Africans got mad because we took our culture with us. We was building stuff over there. So they got mad at us. They were jealous. So they started rounding us up and selling us first to what they call Muslims. Over there, the Muslim. They the ones start buying us first. So them people who claim to be Muslim, they the one was buying us first. Then they sold us to all the other countries. That's why the Lord said we should be scattered abroad. Because we were scattered. Everybody was buying us. All the other 6 tribes, all the other 6 nations was buying us and taking us to their country. And you shall be sold unto your enemy. We were sold to our enemy. The Bible says they are our enemy. You shall be sold to your enemy. Our enemy was the other 6 nations. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Korean. But the head corporate was the Edomite, which is the so-called white people today. That is why they treat you the way they treat you. Because they know the end game. You don't hurt the turn, you reap what you sow. They have destroyed God's people. Now they're going to have to go into slavery. You shall reap what you shall sow. And they know this. So that's why that's why they shoot you in the street. They hang you. They still hanging people. You shall be sold to for bondmen, slave men, bond women, slave women, and no man shall buy you. Martin Luther King didn't save you. Malcolm X didn't save you. J. Edward Hoover didn't save you. No, I'm sorry, J. Edward Hoover. Medgar Evers didn't save you. Nobody shall buy you. The only person going to be able to save us is Yahushua, who we ignorantly called Jesus. That's how we got here. And this in the Bible. It tell you how we're going to go into slavery. This in the Bible. Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass that if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake you. These are some of the curses that has came upon us. These are some of the curses. You go to Deuteronomy 28. I'm just going to give you a few of them. But you can start at Deuteronomy 28:15 and go all the way down to 68. And it'll give you all the curses we're going through. Curse shall thou be in the city, curse shall thou be in the field. When you slaves in the field, wherever you went, you was a slave. Curse shall thou be in the basket in their stores. You don't have no stores. You don't own anything. Everything we get, got to get from the so-called white man. Curse shall thou be when thou comest in, curse shall be when thou goest out. The Lord shall make pestilence cleave to thee, until they have consumed thee from off the land. Whether thou goest to possess it. If you read all of that, it'll tell you all the curses. I mean, it's bad where we're going. Carcass, we be dead. The Lord shall smack you with madness and blindness. What you see in the streets now, the guys walking around talking to themselves, because the Lord has struck them with blindness, with madness. Blindness don't mean you're literally blind with your eye. It means knowledge. You don't comprehend what's going on around you. That's what it means. He said, we shall be an astonishment. That's why they said, look at them niggas, look at them. Whenever somebody do something, they said, y'all niggas, y'all this, y'all this. That's astonishment. Proverb. That means they call you different names. Nigger this, nigger that, spicks, coon. All this in the Bible. A byword. That's what it is. All this in the Bible. They call you this name. Everything's in the Bible. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. When you was having babies during slavery time, they would take the babies and sell them to other states, other land, other slave owners. So you didn't never get a chance to even see your kid, because they didn't want your kid to know their heritage. So before you got a chance to teach them, they would separate the kids and give them to different people, sell them to different towns, different cities. So you never seen your kid. Can you imagine having a baby and they take your kid and you never get a chance to see it? Them was the curses. And it's sad, because in the Bible, but it was never taught to us. And all these curses fit us. Thou serve thy enemy. We already know who our enemy was. They're the one that sold us. So we're going to serve thy enemies. That's what the Lord say. Deuteronomy 28:48. And people say, well, check this out. The Lord sent them against us because we were disobedient. which the Lord shall send against thee. Because we were disobedient. All this stuff that happened to us, God doing to us. So everybody say God is love, God is love. God is a man of war. So everything we're going through, God sending this upon us. Trying to get our attention. To come back to the law, statute, commandments. Against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and all in want of all things. That means that we have to go to them for everything because we don't own them. We got to go to them for our water. We got to go to them for food. You got to go to them for jobs. You got to go to them. You got to pay for your drive. Everything, they own everything. You cannot do anything without their hand in it. Don't pay that water bill and see what happens. We don't own no water company. Water should be free. Don't pay that light bill and see what happens. Don't get your driver's license renewed. Try to go out of town, out of the state, and see what happens without a passport. You got to call your daddy and ask him, can you leave? Your daddy's the government. We up under their curse. All this stuff was originally free. But we up under the curse, so we must go through all this stuff we're going through. It's a lot in there. So I want you to read 28, 15 through 68. And read all the curses that we are going through. And tell me that don't fit us today. I want to show you some pictures. I don't know if you can see them. See that? That's us. Look how they did that poor guy back. That's us. Look what they had around your neck. You know, no other nation of people can claim this. All this in the Bible. All this is in the Bible. This is your history. This Bible is your book. This is why you are in this predicament that you are in. Because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. They only teach you 10, but it's 613. See that? Look at that. That's how they treated us. What kind of people were these to do another nation of people like this? They was evil, and they still evil today. And you still want to hug and love on somebody and marry and have babies from somebody who treats you like this. Go to Romans 9:13. Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved. We are Jacob. We are from the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob had his name changed to Israel. The Lord changed Jacob's name to Israel. And Jacob had 12 sons. And they represent the 12 tribes of Israel. He had 12 sons. And that represents the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 sons. That represents the 12 sons of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's us. And we Jacob. God loved us. But guess what he said about Esau? Esau is the so-called white man. But Esau have I hated. But Esau have I hated. And people say God don't hate. It's in the Bible. Esau have I hated. They know this. They know you are the chosen people. And they know everything that was going on. See, but they won't teach you that in the Bible. It's all in there. Read Genesis 25 and 25. It says, the first one was born red and hairy all over. Red and hairy all over. That's Esau. That was his name. Esau. Edomites. Edom. Edom mean red. Because they are red, they are not white. Look at them. White is like this paper. They are red. But they call us black, which means death, suffering, pitiful, haze. But white means snow, pure snow, fluffy, good, heavenly. So if you call them by their biblical name and call us by our biblical name, their biblical name means death. Esau means wasted away. In the Hebrew language, it means wasted away. So they dying every day. That's why they can't stand the sun. The sun killed them, but the sun give us strength. And I know a lot of people say, man, why you bring up this old stuff? This stuff old. No. Read Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days are old. That's what we won't never forget. They don't never forget their days. 9/11, 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, all the wars they get in, they got a holiday for it. We're going to get ready to celebrate a holiday now. Veterans Day. But they tell you to forget your days. Forget about slavery, but they want you to remember all their days. All the days they done murder people. Every day they celebrate is about murder. Killing. But tell you to remember, forget your days. You forget your days, but you remember my days. And we go right along with it. You have some kind of so-called nigger or say, well, man, why you just won't get over it? Tell them to get over it. I don't see you tell them to get over their days. You be right there barbecuing on the 4th of July and you still was a slave. 1776, you wasn't free, you still was a slave. But you celebrate their day. So how the hell you going to tell me to remember, do not remember my days? That's why I won't go back into that same mess. They just had a show in Joshua called Sea and Sky Show. Celebrate the might of the military. And I was standing there, right? Because I had to work it. I was standing there. And when the airplane flew over, the 3 jets flew over, and they were singing the national anthem. And I sat there and watched 5,000 people take their head off and everybody looked toward the sky, worshiping another God. And you could have seen that. It was like stunning. I said, wow, look at them. They shouldn't have no other God before me, but they were sitting there worshiping that God. Had their hand in the air like, wow. I said, wow. Wow. Some of us was in that crowd too. Some of us was in that crowd. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. Joel 3:6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold into the Grecians, that you might remove them from their borders. The Grecians, the so-called white people. This was the prophet predicting us going into slavery. Throughout the whole Bible. Throughout the whole Bible. It's a lot in here. But see, I ain't going to hold you long. Because I know that as so-called new, we got short patience. But I want you to get there. I want you to read your Bible and study. My main focus is to get you to read your Bible. Your history is in this Bible. You read Deuteronomy, it tells you, Deuteronomy starts from the first chapter. The first verse is Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 68. 1 through 15 tell you all the stuff that would have been good if we would have followed the law. 15 through 68 tell you all the curses that are stored upon us right down. But it is hope, because the Lord Yahushua is coming back for us on the chariot. Only a third of us, 2/3 of the Negroes got to die. Well, you can see that now. They're dying by the dozen. Now I take that back, by the thousands. So 2/3 of the Negroes got to die. Only a third going to go through the fire. And that's what we're going through now. All this tribulation we're going through. But 2/3 of the Negroes got to die. But this is what the Lord say. Revelation, this is the last book of the Bible. The New Testament. Revelation 13:10. He that leaders into captivity shall go into captivity. Then all the other nations took us into captivity. Then they lead us into captivity. The Lord said they shall go into captivity. They going into captivity. And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Then ain't they killing us? They hung us. They burnt us alive. You know how they do the hogs when they put them in that, and they have a fire like a campfire, and they stick the stick through the hole and they turn him to roast him. That's what they were doing to the black men's slavery. They roast them and burn them up, and then what they would do is they would cut the pieces for souvenirs. So they in their house they would have souvenirs of different your body parts in there. They love the black man penis. That's probably why they're trying to kill us all now. Here is the patience and the faithful or the saints. We just got to hold on. It's rough, but we just got to hold on. We just got to hold on. The definition of Edom, Edomite, red, the nation and its people who were the descendant of Esau. See, they were the red. They were the white people, so-called white people today. But that's what, like I say, if you don't read the Bible, if you don't study, you don't know who these people are. So when you read it, you'll know who they're talking about. So when you see Edom, Esau, Jacob, Israel, you'll know who they are. Because the church ain't going to teach you. They want to teach you all about love, but God coming back for war. For what they done to us. You heard what he said? Who that lives in captivity must go into captivity. You think them white folks just going to just say, hey, I'm going to be your slave? We're going to have to fight and kill them. That's when the Lord coming back with the angels. That's when the Lord come back with the angels. They ain't just going to freely go. That's why he said they must be killed with the sword. Because they kill them, so they ain't going to freely go. You think they're going to freely give up all this luxury they living in now? This ain't heaven. Heaven is not a place where people, they try to put it in the Bible, and hell is not a place under the ground. This going to be heaven on earth. This going to be heaven when the Lord come back, once he cleans the earth up. We're going to use them to cleanse the earth up, because after all this killing, when the Lord come back. We're going to use all the other nations going to be up on us to get this earth back in order. All of it in the Bible. For all they want to teach, Jake want to teach about woman that ought loose, power of the woman, jealousy, and all this kind of stuff here. But he ain't going to teach you about your soul and where you come from, who you are. You can have the smartest person. They made all A's in college. Graduated with honor. Catch them walking out the door and say, what's your nationality? They still say African American. All that education, don't even know who you are. It does you no good. But I just want to come in here and relate that with you and let you know that your history is in the Bible. This is your book. I notice now that the Hebrew Israelites are coming out and we're learning. So we are learning. People are changing over. They are realizing that the church is a joke, that the pastor was just taking your money. We're realizing that. God said it'll be a great awakening. We're waking up now. Now, it's this guy on the job I was talking to. He's an Edomite. I broke it down to him who he is and where he's going. You know what he had no to say to me? Who wrote that Bible? You know what I told him? I said, in slavery, you beat my ancestors to death to make them read that Bible. To turn to your Christianity. Now all of a sudden, that I and other people don't start learning the Bible for them. Now you want to be an atheist. Now you want to claim who wrote the Bible, who didn't write the Bible. But when you whipped our ass and killed us over it, it was fine. I said, you just know we coming into the truth. He turned red. And then I told all the guys, I said, look at him. See that? I told you that's Edom. Look how red he turned. He turned red, damn near almost pink. So that was the Lord showing the guys that was around me, which is the so-called nigga that be giggling and laughing, don't take stuff serious, but God showed it and revealed it to him. The whole room got silent. Guess what happened today? The so-called Edomite didn't even come in the room. So because when you stand up and let them know who you are, you don't have no problem with them. But as long as you docile, simple, they run all over you. But I'm saying that to say this. Please get the Bible, study and read. It's your Bible. Get the King James Version 1611. King James Version 1611. Because all them NIVs and all them other Bibles, they done took out the word black. They got you thinking all them the prophets were white. They took the word out. That's why you got to get the King James 1611. That's the original Bible. King James 1611. All the other Bible stuff, them kids' Bible, woman's Bible, different kind of Bible, number one Bible. King James 1611. Get that Bible and learn and read it, man. Just read it and learn who you are, man. I'm trying to tell you, it's amazing. It's amazing when you learn that he's talking to you in that Bible. You them people in that Bible. It's amazing. You know how you felt when Barack Obama became the president? You felt a sense of pride. Well, just imagine you reading that Bible, you find out that's you. Even though Barack Obama is an African, his daddy is an African. You are who your father are. He the one, his people the one sold us into slavery. Why you think that the whole time he was president, you still in the same boat? But he was not allowed to do anything for the so-called Negro. He lived in Chicago. I know y'all love Barack Obama, you don't want to hear this. He lived in Chicago and not do one thing. Chicago did more killing when he was the president than they're doing now. Didn't do not one thing, and the man lived in Chicago. You couldn't even touch it. I just want to put that out there. Just do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Please, I beg you. I beg of you. Don't listen. Don't believe nothing I say. Go study for yourself and learn it. Because I could be lying to you. Get that Bible. Break it down. Get you a dictionary and break this Bible down and learn that this Bible is for you. Quit going to church on Sunday and you sing for 2 hours and the man say, hey, how you doing? Take up a collection plate and you going out of church and I come out there and ask you what you learned. You ain't learned a damn thing. That's sad. Still come out of that church, don't know who you was in that Bible. You've been going to the church for 20 years, all your life. 30, 50, 60, 70. And you still don't know who you are in the Bible. You just reading. You go to hear that preacher sing and dance and holler and scream. If you read that Bible and study, you will know that a woman don't supposed to be a preacher. All these women just preaching in the church is abomination to God. They unclean because you come on a monthly. You can't even enter the temple. The Lord tell you to wash your sheets. You stay for 7 days, you're supposed to stay away from your husband. Everything she sit on during that period of time, you're supposed to be clean. You got to wash it and clean it. She's unclean for 7 days. A woman only supposed to step foot in the church during her time when she's on her period. That's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Study and read and learn for yourself. It is Yahushua, man, woman, kids, in that order. But them false prophets, them pastors have taught the woman that she can be the leader of the house. Well, that's why our the so-called African, the so-called Negro house is destroyed. The family is destroyed. Listen to them pastors. Get this Bible, man, and study. All that's in there. I'm not making this up. It's in there. And then when you read it, ask your pastor why he ain't never teach you that. Ask him why. He tell y'all to give him money because he want a jet. He want a new car. He want a new suit. He asked for that. So you should be able to ask him a question. Once you studied about, why have you never taught me this, Pastor? I would have been doing better for you to taught me this. But anyway, I digress. Study your Bible and learn for yourself. Quit and let people tell you everything. You don't know nothing. Read it and learn. I always tell people, man, don't believe in me. Read the Bible for yourself and study and show self-approval. Shalom, my people. May Yahweh bless you. And may you take this word in love, not meanness. Because I love you. That's why I'm telling you this. I love my people. I love them to death. I'm willing to die for my people. Because guess what? You don't think they watching this? FBI watch this here because guess what? They know that this word is true. If you catch on to this, they won't have no control over you no more. And they don't want that. So they'll let them preachers preach all they want. They don't say nothing to them. Because they teaching lies. They teaching just what they want you to teach to keep you on the bottom. You ain't going to do nothing as long as that preacher keep preaching you that same stuff like that. You going to go to church that day. Hell, if they kill your neighbor, you ain't saying, oh man, they didn't kill him. You ain't saying that. You ain't going to do nothing. Because you just worrying about yourself. A guy told me, and I'm going to leave you with this here. He said, man, a protest is just a bunch of people screaming and hollering and holding up signs. An army is disciplined and in line. You done seen that movie Malcolm X? When them Muslims came out, even though I'm not a Muslim, I'm using that for an example. You seen how the Muslims came out, they were standing in that line, all geared up, with all their black coat and their gloves and everything, straight as a whistle. What that white man said, that's too much power for one nigga. See, they don't care about protest. You protest until your damn eyes come out your head. They don't give a damn about that. All that screaming and hollering, they don't care because you're unorganized. A protest is just that, unorganized. A bunch of group of people running down the street like a flock of dogs. That don't mean shit. They don't care nothing about it. You think you've been marching since you're damn for Martin Luther King. Ain't nothing changed yet. Them people don't care nothing about a protest. That ain't nothing. Get an army. They respect the army. They don't respect march. They don't respect protesting. That protest lasts for one day and it's over. It's back to normal. But you get an army is teaching our people the word, who they are, and you can change a lot of things by learning who you are. If you know who you are, certain things you won't do. Certain things you won't do. Well, shalom, my people. I love you. I do all this in love. I promise you. I do all this in love. Shalom.